So this is the beginning of the lecture on the hominin heads or skulls. A hominin is a chimpanzee, human, or any of the close relatives that we have with chimpanzees. To say that we're hominids is correct, but hominids also includes other more distant species, including gorillas and orangutans. All right, so we're just going to focus on hominins, which are humans, chimpanzees, and species that are like humans and chimpanzees. Right here we have a chimpanzee skull, a modern pan-trigloides. Things to note are the relatively small cranium here, the brow ridge, and the very, very prominent canine teeth that are used both defensively and also to gain food. All right, so that's pan-trigloides. Next, we'll compare that to a modern human. All right, so this is a modern human skull. And notice now the extremely large cranium, the fact that there's very little brow ridge here. The face is relatively vertical. And in addition, we have relatively small dentition, meaning teeth. Okay, so that's modern human, and this would be Homo sapiens. All right, now unfortunately, we don't have an Ardipithecus for you to look at because they were discovered only in 2009. And so the oldest replica of a fossil that we have is Lucy. So this is our Lucy skull. It's the exact replica of the one discovered in Africa. I broke the teeth off, unfortunately, getting this ready. If you look at it in side view, you'll see the prominent features. So we have a brow ridge, a relatively small cranium, small dentition, so the teeth are larger than ours, but they're still smaller than a chimpanzee, particularly the canine. And then most of the time, it's sort of intermediate. So, and I almost forgot to mention, so the genus and species is Australopithecus from the Afar region, or Afarensis is the genus and species here. All right, next up, literally, in terms of being more highly evolved, is our other Australopithecus. So this is a replica of an Australopithecus africanus. Australopithecus means southern ape man, and Afaris is from afar. This one's Africanus from Africa. The cranium here is slightly larger, so it's slightly more evolved. It's also more recent. You see it has this prominent brow ridge and a sloping face, and again, not terribly small dentition, but not as large as the chimpanzees by any means. So this specimen is the other one of the two Australopithecus that we have. This one is Australopithecus africanus. All right, next we have kind of a sidetrack here. All right, so this organism here used to be, when I first started teaching this class, it was also categorized in the genus Australopithecus. It's since been recategorized in a category called Paranthropus. Para meaning next to, and anthro, like in anthropology, meaning man. Anthropology is the study of man. So Paranthropus, and it's named after the benefactor of the Leakeys, Boisei. So this is a Paranthropus boisei. The thing about these organisms is they were contemporary with Homo habilis and Homo erectus, and they're pretty totally weird as compared to us. If you were to see them in person, I refer them sort of as the helmet heads. You see this feature right here. This is called a sagittal crest. This is the sagittal plane, and a raised area is called a crest. Very unique. It's an attachment for the large chewing muscle that goes like this under the zygomatic process and up. So it had massive power to chew. It also has, if you look at the bottom, massive molars. This organism and us are distant cousins, so it's not directly on the family tree. You can't really see now the sagittal crest here. You can see a little better the brow ridge. So this is Paranthropus boisei that you'll have to identify perhaps in a still figure. Related to that, and a little bit more primitive, is the Paranthropus ethiopicus, with an A being the Latin version of Ethiopia. So it's the organism that's next to man that was discovered in Ethiopia. Again, you can see a really prominent brow ridge here that serves as an attachment for the large chewing muscles, the masseters. And again, if it had teeth left, you'll see there's some really large surface area in terms of grinding for the molars. Looking at it this way, small cranium, and it's actually smaller than the other Australopithecus, and the brow ridge. It's dark because, like Lucy's dark, because they were found in volcanic ash, and so that imparted a color on these fossils. These are exact replicas of the remains of organisms that have been discovered. All right. Next on the hit parade here is Homo habilis. This is the handyman. There's some question as whether Homo habilis should really be a separate genus and species, or whether it just overlaps with the Homo erectus a lot. There is a lot of variability in Homo erectus in terms of characteristics of the skulls and cranial capacities. But this is the first organism that has now a larger cranium, as you can see here. And it's associated with tool making, and so habilis has to refer to as being handyman. Brow ridge, medium-sized dentition, and like I said, it's clearly now the first true organism that's on the right path, at least in terms of becoming one of us. Now, as to whether this thing evolved into us or not, it's kind of questionable, because rather than just having one lineage evolve into humans, it looks like there were multiple intermediates between humans and chimpanzees living not only at different times, but also in some instances at the same time. So, for example, the Homo habilis and the Paranthropus boisei were contemporaries of one another, even though they are markedly different species. All right, next we have Homo erectus, and the term erect in this case is reference to walking upright. So this is a completely bipedal type of human organism. This is the first human-like organism to leave Africa. This particular specimen was found outside of Beijing, and it was named Peking man. It has relatives in Java, which of course are called Java man, Java being in Indonesia. All right, so much larger cranium now. We still have a brow ridge, but it's receding. The slope of the face is now not vertical, but it's not nearly as horizontal as, let's say, the Paranthropus were. So this is Homo erectus. Homo erectus, by the way, was by far the most successful member of our family tree, being around for over a million years or so. All right, next we have Homo heidelbergensis, and this is kind of a creepy dude because of the large eye sockets. Notice the very prominent brow ridge. Fairly large cranium, slightly smaller than modern humans, but accentuated toward the posterior here. This would be the occipital lobe. The occipital lobe is responsible for visual processing, so this enlargement of this particular part of the brain is completely consistent with the large orbits here being the large eyes. So if you have more rods and more cones in the retina sending more information, you need a larger area for visual processing. So this is Homo heidelbergensis. We're not exactly sure how these organisms fit into the tree. They were in Africa, and they actually some of them migrated out of Africa, but since we don't have DNA, we don't know whether these guys are ancestral to humans or cousins or ancestral to Neanderthals, but they were around for quite a long time after Homo erectus, and also overlapping with modern humans probably. All right, next we have this really kind of rickety old relic here. This was, again, is the exact replica of a fossil exhumed in a cave in France. You can tell that it was attacked by a large tooth mammal based on the condition of the skull with the holes in it and such. You can tell that it's an old individual based on the jaw. And in fact, Neanderthals were given a really bad rap when they were first discovered because they thought that they were these hunchback cavemen that lived in Europe and gave rise to Europeans. That turns out to be completely false. Neanderthals evolved separately from modern humans and lived, they migrated out of Africa and lived in places like Europe and Asia long before our ancestors migrated out. We and them are almost completely unrelated except for a little bit of kind of like, you know, what do humans do being humans? Well, when humans left Africa, they found people already living in Europe and Asia, and so they interbred and produced hybrids, and that the evidence of that tryst lives on in some of our genes. Me, for example, I am 1.5% Neanderthal, which is not really remarkable and not unremarkable. It's kind of like slightly below average. But most people who have European and Northern African genes have some Neanderthal genes in them from this intermixing. Notice the prominent brow ridge. Notice the larger occipital region, which I won't hold you accountable for. And again, large eyes. Probably could see pretty well in the dark. Dentition, what's left of it, is pretty small, like ours. And us and them could interbreed. They've actually even found the remains of a child who is a hybrid, a half human and half Neanderthal. Anyway. And then lastly, we have some fossils. This is the exact replica of a fossil. This one was found, I believe, in Israel. It's about 40 or 50,000 years old. So this is Cro-Magnon, or an archaic human. Interestingly, their brain cases were larger than ours. Ours are about 1,350 cc's. This one is about 1,500. Neanderthals are 15 to 1,600. And there's a slight suggestion here of a brow ridge. So this is an archaic human. And we can compare that to this modern human. This is not a replica. This is a real skull that you would have the pleasure to gently pick up and hold if you wish in the lab if we had lab. Sadly, we don't. All right, so this is a contemporary modern human remains. I have no idea of the history of this. It looks like it was in water and mud for a long time. But anyway, so a very little brow ridge, smaller orbits, would have small teeth that you're familiar with, large cranium, but like I said, not quite as large as the archaic individual. Like I said, that's this would be Homo sapiens. Both of these would be Homo sapiens in terms of the genus and species. All right, so your goal is to go and take the photographs that I posted online, and these learn the names of these organisms by that they're represented by these skulls by genus and species. And then in your lab practical, it will be a spelling test with visual cues. So if I go and pull out this guy right here, you're going to write down Paranthropus boisei. Paranthropus, of course, being the new modern genus and species. It's not really an Australopithecus. This one right here would be Homo erectus. Get the mandible to articulate there. All right, so that's Homo erectus. Be able to identify that and all the rest of them. So mostly I want you to identify them by genus and species. Make sure that you well, normally I would say underline them or italicize them, but underlining them would be good on a lab practical. And then if they have a brow ridge, small dentation, mid-sagittal crest, then you should be able to identify those features.